Welcome to this new topic of our geography series, River System of India. In this lecture, we will see some facts, some definitions of some terms required for this series, and that is very important for any MCQ exams questions. Let us move forward. What do you understand by estuaries and deltas? How will you differentiate between these two terms? See, deltas is something like when river flows, it carries lots of sediments with him. Like when river flows like in this manner. Okay, what will happen when river flows like this? Is the direction of river coming here in this direction, and then what happened? There is a land. Then this river hit this land, like this is the land. Then this river come and hit this land. Then what will happen? This river will turn. And in this scenario, lots of pressure or force is generated by the water. So this simply erode this land, and what it generated, that will generate sediments. Then again this river will come in this way. Again there will be land. This again it will be hit. Then again you will find then again river will turn, and in this manner again here the erosion will occur. So that's why we say some concave and convex concept is related with this river flowing, that in where river erodes more. So this is why, because of that presence of land, we see river flows in zigzag manner. Okay, and every time here in this area lots of erosions happen. Most of the erosion happen in these areas. Okay, and these areas carry sediments, and when these sediments is collected with more, like if the river is flowing like this, and the sediment collection is more, so what will happen? Ultimately the level of land beside this river will go down, and the sediments collected by the river will come above. It means what? That height difference will occur. Then ultimately after this, river will change its path. Now if the river is flowing with this direction, then river will start flowing in this direction. Okay, that that potential difference is the main thing to main driver for make river flows. Okay, so this is what that make river flows and flood the area, and after that you will find that river is flowing river has changed its path. That's why if you see there are some bridges on of some countries on YouTube, you can find it, like a bridge was constructed for crossing the river, and after 30 years and 40 years river changed its course. Now this bridge is standing on in air. No road is connected with that bridge. What happened? That river changed its course, and because of that this bridge has become useless. Okay, so in this manner we will come to see that delta, how delta is formed. See, when river comes and when river meets sea, it brings lots of sediments. Most of the sediments are accumulated at this point, and this point is known as the mouth of river. Okay, so lots of sediments are get accumulated here. So you will see these regions are too much fertile because it carried so much updated minerals, like so much fresh minerals are brought by them. So these areas are very good for cropping, cultivation and all. If you see, even in a small river, if it become dry, the people around those area used to plant watermelon needs sand and all. Okay, see, this is something called delta, that in India. And one more thing, you have understand that delta, and one estuary I will explain that when river suddenly, it is not like the sediments are getting accumulated and all. River is flowing and suddenly it got contact with the sea. Now here it is difficult to differentiate whether sea is going into the land or water is going into the sea. It becomes completely matched, completely submerged between them. and here you won't find any sediments accumulation and all. If the sediment is accumulated, then it will be called as delta, but there is no such things happening, so that will be called your estuaries. Okay, so I think you understand the difference between that estuary and deltas. And in this topic I talk about estuaries only, but in the diagram there is lagoon is also given. So lagoon is something where river, like when river flows into the sea, and one area get covered by some some small area or stones or mountains present there from land, and this water get accumulated here. So it is like it get disconnected from the sea. A small just input is there, that water is coming in from the sea, just it got disconnected from the sea. Small connection is there, so that will be called as your lagoon. Okay, so what is written here, let us see. So in India, west flowing rivers make estuaries. West flowing river, that if this is your river, then in west flowing river will make estuaries, and east flowing rivers make deltas. See, in various lectures I have said these things, and again I will explain this one. See, this part, that western part of our India, is submerged one, like it has been submerged into the sea. It is something like water is raising coming on the land, like this is something like this one. Okay, and it is like submerged one. Okay, so what happened, it does not give lot of time to rivers, so that it will go into the sea with some accumulation or deposition of sediments. Actually it is like suppose if you have a floor, and your roof, and suddenly there is no land, what will happen? This will ultimately fall. So that kind of scenario is present in our western part. Our western part is submerged type of land. Okay, that's why we won't see deltas, we will see estuaries. And in the western side, in the eastern side, we will see lots of deltas are present. Okay, like Krishna, Godavari and Mahanadi and all. So here lots of deltas are present, because there is no submergence of land, and you will see lots of alluvials are present, and it is very good for cultivation. So that is the same thing is repeating here, that west flowing rivers make estuaries and east flowing rivers make deltas. So what is delta? So some points related to delta, like deltas are triangular deposit made by the rivers at their mouth, that form delta. Okay, see how this is looking on. See how this is looking on. This is delta. This is from triangular shapes. Okay, so that triangular deposit made by the rivers and their mouth called delta, and deltas are formed in the region of low tides. High tides take away the sediments. Okay, if just imagine in the common sense, like if the force of the water is more and your river is coming and depositing some sediments, what will happen? If the force of this water is more, this will ultimately remove that sediments, and it will take away by the sea. That's why if there is a high tide area, you won't get formation of deltas, and if it is a low tide areas, then you will get the formation of deltas. So sometimes you will also see that if the time is going, or if the wind is going with the high tide, then the deltas will be removed, and if there is low tide, then you may see delta getting formed for temporary period. Deltas are fertile land because it brings fresh minerals and deposits. Ganga, Brahmaputra, Krishna, Mahanadi, these all form deltas. And delta is an area of low, flat land shaped like a triangle, where a river splits and spread out into several branches before entering into the sea. See, when you see that Ganga and all that Ganga, Yamuna merge, and when you see that it is falling in the Bay of Bengal, you will see lots of branches get formed. Why? Because see, if something if something is coming and here sediment get deposited, okay, here sediment get deposited, then what will happen? Then this river will change direction and this will form another direction. again here one sedimentation happened, sediment get accumulated, then again this river will again change the form, another branch will created, then again another branch will create. In this manner, in the mouth of river you will see several branches getting formed, and these area that is forming land will call your so much fertile, called will as deltas. Now estuaries, the sharp edged mouth of rivers devoid of any deposit is called estuaries. It is that, see, mouth of river is only that when the river get into the sea. Okay, either suddenly will sea come, or maybe with the lands and all present there, then the sea will come. Okay, so if you are getting mouth suddenly, that's why we call it as sharp edged mouth of rivers, and devoid of any deposits will called as estuaries. And regions, like, see, it is not something like estuary is something else and delta is something else. Just difference is that in deltas, if they are getting sediments and all deposits, then you will form deltas. If you are not getting sediments, then it will automatically form. By common sense you can think that no deltas, only water will present, then we call it as estuaries. That's it. Okay, regions of high tides and rift valley, that Narmada witness estuaries, which are the, like, if you have a high tide areas, as I've said, if for low tides you will form deltas, because delta will low tides won't take up a sediments. If you have high tides, you will form you won't get deltas, you will find estuaries. And rift valley is something like that, two mountains is there and the river is flowing between these. Okay, and it gets estuaries. One more thing, estuaries does not have a fertile land. What I've said, see, this is ocean, and what happened, this ocean is what, this is here salty water is getting accumulated, so no minerals are present. That's why it says that estuaries do not have fertile lands. Even if the some land is getting formed, it will not fertile. Here it is all. Why? Because as these regions are under high land, it gets exposed to saline water, and thus it loses its fertilization. Here, that is fertilization and or the present in that alluvial soil and all. No, nothing that will alluvial soil will be washed away by the ocean or sea. Narmada and Tapi rivers form estuaries, that are west flowing rivers. And if you see in the I have talked about basins and all. So rivers sometimes flow in two directions in India because the basins are formed, and what are the reasons for forming the basin, I will explain it further in this series. Okay, so in India the west flowing rivers make estuaries and the east flowing rivers make deltas. So what are the reasons behind it? I have already explained. Again I will, for the sake of things, I will repeat it here with more clarification. So there are many reasons that west flowing rivers do not make deltas but estuaries. Why? Deltas are formed due to accumulation of sediments brought by the rivers. Common sense, I have already said. And many west flowing rivers like Narmada, Tapi, Periyar, that is in Kerala and all, so passes through rift valleys. Rift valley means in the between the mountains and all, they are falling, gorge kind of things. So they flow through the areas of hard rocks. Okay, they do not follow with the area of soft rocks. Like if you see in Ganga, if you are living in Bihar or other regions, like they are removing the soil. That which type of soil? That is soft soils, not mountainous kind of soils are present for those regions. So main land of India and all. Okay, that's why like they erode rocky kind of items, so they flow through the areas of hard rocks. Therefore these regions contain very little amount of silts, and even that silts are not much porous, not much soft. So their areas are smaller and river covers very short distance. If they start to cover long distances, then yes, in that long period of time, even that rocky small rock particles will automatically get softened by heating and all the process, like heating, pressure and all. They will get converted into soft one, but the distances for that river to cover is also very small. They are not getting much time for it. That's why they are unable to form sediments. And this is a high gradient for the west flowing rivers, like the size of that particles are very large because they are flowing from mountainous area. So it is similarly like a stone or a small particle like of sand and all. It is not like soft item, not porous kind of things. So therefore, being very close to coast and with high gradient, they are less chances of river getting wide towards the sea, unlike east flowing rivers. So mode gradients means higher is the velocity of the river. See what happen if you have large number of gradient present, okay, large boulders are present, and river is flowing at very high at coming from that one, then what will happen? You have less space to go. So what will happen? This river will hit each other, this river will hit each other, and ultimately the pressure will increase in this part. So what will happen? The speed of the river will increase. What happened? Like when you want to wash your car, what happened? How you increase the pressure of the pipe, pressure of the water coming from the pipe? You just press that pipe with your finger. Then what will happen? This ultimately the pressure of the pipe will increase. What happened? You have decreased the area. If you go in physics, you can find the formula for it also. So in the same way, like large gradients are present, it means more walls are present here, more barriers are there, and due to this barrier the pressure increases for this area, and ultimately the speed of river get increased. So that is the one of the important reason of not getting accumulation of sediments and directly, like it is like just jumping into the sea. So it is not getting much chances for forming the deltas and all. Ultimately it is like forming, it is falling into the sea. Okay, that's why you will see estuaries in the western side. So more gradients means higher is the velocity of the river. Therefore west flowing rivers end up forming estuaries rather than deltas, and when these fast flowing rivers reach to its mouth, it become unable to deposit silts due to the reason silt falls into the sea, because they are large gradients and completely fall into the sea. It is not like accumulating over there, not much attraction, not sticky kind of things are present between those gradients. Thus you will see west flowing rivers are estuaries. So these sources taken from that India by K. Siddhartha, and I have taken from the Quora. One Quora from one user has uploaded, just I took that part and it was authentic one. So rivers treaty between India and Pakistan. What is the river treaty happened between India and Pakistan? So Indus, there is an Indus water treaty between India and Pakistan, and India is called as upstream river and Pakistan is called as downstream river, because the river flows from India and going into the Pakistan. Okay, it is like something. Okay, so river flows from India and going into the Pakistan. So India will call it upstream and Pakistan will call it as your downstream. So as Indus originates in India and flows from southeast direction in Jammu and Kashmir to near northwest direction and enters into the Pakistan, that's why India will be called as your northeast. Okay, see it will start from here, then it goes and then it enters into Pakistan and all. See, that's why it is called like southeast direction in the Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so the 6 rivers that are present which flows from the India to Pakistan are Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, Beas. Okay, it is easy to remember, it is not much important, it is not much difficult to remember. Okay, and must remember these 5 rivers. So in the treaty between India and Pakistan, it was signed that top 3 rivers present, that Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, will be given to Pakistan, and the other 3 rivers Ravi, Satluj and Beas will be given to India. So in this treaty it was mentioned that India can't store or stop water of the rivers. Which rivers? Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. Like India can't stop, but India can do developments on these rivers. So that's why we can construct dam which will produce electricity. It means we can do run of the river projects run our river project. It means like storage of water can't be done, electricity, but electricity can be produced. And sometimes this is the reason that Pakistan counter attack. They don't want to India developments and all, so sometimes they come with these issues. So but this is the treaty that happened between India and Pakistan. Which three rivers will be signed in the top three? That India will get Indus, that Pakistan will get Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, and India will get Ravi, Satluj and Beas, and India cannot stop the water for these rivers, that in Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, these three rivers, but the India can do their river projects on these rivers. Okay. So what are the annual yields of water by rivers in India? So Brahmaputra yield around 33.8% of water, so as it gains rainfall from the ice cap, southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon. So thus these regions receives more water, that is in the seven sister present there. So in this region, like it hits Purvanchal, like our that monsoon hit first Purvanchal and get lots of rainfall there. Then Ganga 25.2%, Godavari 6.4%. These are the data that you have to just keep in mind. Indus will be your 4.3%, that is less water because most of the water flows into the Pakistan area. Then Mahanadi 3.6%, Krishna 3.4%, and Narmada 2.9%. So the most important that you have to remember that which has the most more role of the yield water in India, that is Brahmaputra. So that's why most of the projects are running for making Brahmaputra as a water transportation facilities, because water transportation facilities are cheap and that can transfer from one place to another easily, and it has more potential than land route. Like in the land route, the cost is more, the expenditure is more. So that's why government is also forcing us to move to the water transportation system, because India has a lots of potential in the water transportation, but we are not utilizing it. Okay, so I hope these things your data can understand, that these data just you have to keep in the mind. So at basins level, what do you understand basins level? So it means rivers along with its tributaries. That base levels, like here the tributaries are included in the basin level. Like if the tributaries are coming and what is the main river is coming, so if it get added, then this will be called as your base river. Okay, and these will be called tributaries. So tributaries means, it means all the rivers that are flowing into it, that this is the main river, that this one is the main river, and these are your tributaries that are coming into main river. So that will call you as basin, and this will be called as your basin level, and that will call you as tributaries. That will call you as your tributaries, and this will be called as your basins. So major rivers 20,000 square kilometer and above, that major rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra and all. So medium rivers are 2,000 kilometer to 20,000 kilometer square kilometer they are flowing. So minor less than 2,000 square kilometer, and 90% of the water are housed into the Bay of Bengal. Only 10% goes into the Arabian Sea. That just remember that most of the river flows into the east of the India, that is Bay of Bengal, and the less rivers are falling into the Arabian Sea, and Arabian Sea is the area that is submerged one. And you will see estuaries in Arabian Sea and deltas in Bay of Bengal. Okay, I hope you understand the lecture. Please subscribe the channel. This is a form of payment that you can make me by subscribing the channel only. If you have any doubts, suggestions, or if you want PPT, just ping me on my Twitter handle given in the descriptions. And if you want any on-demand video lecture, follow the same process by pinging me on my Twitter handle. I will be happy to assist you. Thank you.